Hello everyone and welcome back to It's Personal. I am Mona and this is the very first project for 2026 and I'm so excited because it's a colorful champagne glass in soft pastel pencil. All the supplies used are on the screen right now with the intro image, and I hope you guys will enjoy the journey with me as we go along into the world of exploring soft pastel pencils. So firstly, I just taped down this Kraft paper, brown Kraft paper onto some hardboard using some masking tape. I don't have any more washi tape at the moment I can use, or at least affordable washi tape. It feels like a waste to waste expensive washi tape on borders. But yeah, that is life. So then afterwards, after taping it down, I went in with some Art Ranger acrylic paint in a golden color, a golden metallic color, just to put down a nice little sparkly edge around the project. And then I ended up switching from Fosca ink I had to an acrylic ink. Now, to be transparent, this was the second attempt on this project. That's why I kind of showed the little no-no for the Fosca ink, because in my first attempt, it bled into the cardstock paper so much. Now, this might just be user error on my side, but yeah, I went over to the acrylic, rather to use some acrylic ink for the stamping instead of the Fosca, which also meant I needed to try and clean the stamp as quickly and as efficiently as possible afterwards, as to try and avoid staining it too much. But yeah, the second attempt came out much better. Still not perfect. I need to work on my stamping technique, but it might also be the kind of paper I used and the fact that I stenciled over the acrylic paint, which is something I need to still learn. I don't have very much experience with stamping and stenciling. So stamping and stenciling things in general. So that is still, it's an area I'm going to try and learn, and like, because it's something I wanted to get better at, the mixed media feels and all those vibes. So yeah, then after the stamping, everything was dry there. I went in and I drew out, or I sketched out a little champagne glass. I had this idea in my head for a while that I wanted to do like this colorful champagne glass because we were heading into the new year, and I wanted to do my first video be something really cool and sparkly and just really colorful. So this idea came to mind, and I was speaking to my sister the other day and she was like, these pastel pencils actually really look nice on the card, on this brown cardboard paper. And I'm like, yes, it does. And she also noted that it actually looks good with just when you put the image down without giving it a background. And that is exactly what I aim to do with this picture. That's why there's a border around it, not a full painted or colored background. I just wanted the image to stand out. I did use some makeup sponges for blending out the first layers of this project, just because it makes it easier for the soft pastel pencils just like to stick if there's like a little bit of a layer at the bottom. And then I started building on top of that slowly but surely, and yeah, it was really fun. I used some bright yellow, some bright orange, a pink, a purple, a really bright blue for this project. And later on there's going to be a little bit of a surprise teal greenish color also that's going to come through. But yeah, I just took my time with this project. It took about an hour, around about an hour and a half in real time, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I could sit down and do this in one sitting, and I had so much fun. This was the soft pastel pencils by Kalour, were my like splurge at the end of 2025 to myself, and I'm really glad that I did, because I've been having so much fun using those pencils. I have used them in a couple of like off-screen projects just to test them and see how I enjoy them, and yeah, they've been a blast. They blend really well. I do have a couple of let me just grab the pencils over here. There's another, I've got loose pencils. I think I mentioned them in a previous video. Just give me a second. They are called the Kalour hard mirth. I can't say that second word, but yeah, these are, I've got a couple of Kalour pencils in this little in the containers as well, that I think I might have used the yellow with this. If not, it was definitely, I used the white pencil, their white pencil, a lot with this project, just because I was playing around trying the two different types of pencils. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. Something I really want to try and get better at this year is the concept of using like gloss and the see-through vibes, which was a little bit tricky with the champagne glass. It kind of gave me the same vibes as the project I did with the light bulb, trying to figure out in my head how to make something look transparent without it leaving the space clear and without color. I have to say with this champagne glass, the bottom, the stem part and the foot piece, what do you want to call it, the stem and stuff, it wasn't as transparent as I probably would have liked, but I was having so much fun blending those colors, the purple into the pink, and then on the other side was the yellow and the orange. I couldn't stop myself. I was like, I got to a point and I realized this should have been more on the transparent side, but it was just so much fun to put all the colors down. I was kind of thinking in my head, there's some light reflecting off somewhere and it's all lit up and it's pretty, and that's why the stem and the bottom is also all lit up and pretty. And I was like, I just kept going. I just couldn't help myself. It was just so much fun. And yeah, it's one of those projects, if you just keep on practicing it and keep on playing with it, slowly but surely building colors and putting in a little bit more and blending it out a little bit. And I think that's why I enjoy using these pencils, is because it didn't take a lot of, what is the word I'm looking for, effort to blend them out. And I think that's why I enjoy it. It's not like for me, I've played with my pastel sticks in the past, the soft pastel sticks, and it feels like I have to do a lot of effort. And with these pencils, it was less effort. I could take the pencil and gently go over an area, get the extra color I wanted, or blend two sections of color together, and it just came out as I wanted it. And if I felt, oh, I went a little bit too far with the white pencil, I could go back in and add some more color on top of it, and then work it back to a darker color again. Of course, I got to a point where I just did saturate the paper a lot. But yeah, that is what happened. I couldn't change that. But at that point, I was happy with the project. And yeah, you would see, you're not going to see it in the video, but in sections, I did tap off the excess pastel pencil particles that were on my paper, because when you're working with pastels, you always get that powder. There's always excess powder around. And if you don't what do you want to call it, tap it off once in a while, it gets everywhere. So yeah, I kept a A4 piece of paper on the side of the desk where I just tapped it off, because my dustbin is not really set up for that. So I tapped it off on that paper, and after I was done, I folded it up and I could throw it away again. But yeah, getting in these bubbles were kind of tricky, because I needed to figure out a way to make them stand out in a way, but have them not overpower the inside of the glass, which was tough because I struggle with the bubbles. And that is where my solution for an alternative color comes in a little bit. But I think the part of this project I'm probably most proud of is the fact that I could get the feeling of the champagne glass, with the little highlights in the areas where it's supposed to be darker with the dark blue, and I blended it out a little bit again with the white. So you get those sharp edges, but it looks kind of, for me, it's realistic without being realistic, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, I used a little bit of grey pencil as well, just to tone down some of the sections. And then I went in with the white pencil again over it. There was a lot of back and forth, probably a lot of unnecessary back and forth. But yeah, when you are having fun, there's no too much. There is a point where you cannot turn around and undo what you've done. But yeah. So at this point, I was using that green teal color I was talking about, and I just love it. It just gave it that little pop. It's like I spoke about in was in a previous video or project I did, was where I figured out if I use a pop of color at some point during the project, then everything just comes together. And when I put down that greenish, bluish sea green color, I was like, that is it. that is my life made now. It just made it work for some reason. It just gave it that whimsical feeling I was looking for. And I'm so glad that I put it in. And yeah, I just kept on at this point. I just kept on adding, trying to get that glass to like give me the oomph I wanted, like the reflection of light and having it be see-through and all of that. And then when the glass was finished, I was like, the border looks dull now. So I went in with some of the soft pastel pencils over the stencil work, those little roses, just to make it like look a little bit prettier. And I think I succeeded mostly. I'm going to use that same teal color pencil in a second to put it right around the border. I colored a little bit around, it's basically on the border of the masking tape and the gold. So I would color it a little bit and then I'm going to smudge it. You will see that in a second. And then smudge, color smudge all the way around, just to provide this little line break the line up around the edge. And then I realized I was not happy with how dark those colors on the flowers were, and I kind of dabbed it out with a kneadable eraser. Yeah, you can see the green is going on there. And I think that was just it kind of just muted the gold just a tiny little bit, and just gave it a little bit of a pop of color, like the green is also flowing in from the side. And I think that was most of the pastel work done at this point. I blended a little bit and then I started pulling off the masking tape, and for once the paper did not tear on me because the paper resisted, and I signed it. And then I went in with some Rust-Oleum. I'm just gonna stretch for the can to give you guys, it's an Rust-Oleum has in their spray mate range, they've got an artistic fixative, and I bought this on Takealot during Black Friday, and I tell you, this has been a game changer for me, because this adds a layer on top of your pastel projects. It seals it in, but it allows you also some texture onto your paper, so you can go in again. I would assume you can go in again with some pastel pencils if you want to add more layers on top. Or like I did, I went in with my Giotto Stelliano color pencils, and then I went in for the highlights just to make everything pop a little bit. But you will notice in this image right now, the paper looks like it's still kind of on the darker side, and the color's been what is the word I'm looking for? Changed a little bit on the soft pastels. It kind of does. The fixative does change it slightly, but the longer you leave the paper to dry, it kind of reverses back to the state before you sprayed it, and the colors look the same. So yeah, at this stage, I think the paper was probably not 100% dry yet. I might have been a little bit on the hasty side, but the pencils went down. There was no smudging or lifting or anything, so I was happy to just finish up the project. And then by the time the reveal shots were taken, it was completely dry, and you won't see that shadow it causes around the image. But yeah, I think overall this project turned out really well. The color pencils just bring out all the highlights in the project, which is really, really nice. Just makes the whites pop even more. And I think overall this was a successful first project for 2020. This was done on the 1st of January, by the way. Just to clarify, I did art on the 1st of January for myself, and it was so much fun. But I really enjoyed this project. It was a really good first video for the channel on the soft pastel pencils, which I was really excited about at the end of last year, and I hope you guys enjoyed it with me. I thank you so very much for sticking around and watching this video till the end. If you liked it, if you liked the video, you liked the project, please consider liking and subscribing this video. I'm going to try and be more consistent in this year with posting on social media, Instagram, Facebook and stuff, just to get the content out there a little bit more. But I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.